What's happening with it, y'all? Team Crawford is back again, and they giving an update on the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight, and they saying that Errol Spence ain't done nothing in his little career, and he ain't getting more money than Terence Crawford. Before we get into this next video, make sure that y'all hit my like button and sub to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. Now, this has been going back and forth for I don't know how long now, and I'm about tired of it. I'm like my man Ricky Williams, make the effing fight, right? But you got Team Bud Crawford, you know, Bernie the boxer, he coming out and he's saying that he's speaking directly on how Bud Crawford feels on the negotiations that's going down. Now he's saying that Errol Spence ain't done nothing in his career to deserve more than 50-50. They talking about this 50-50 stuff again. Now, I kept telling y'all that the reason that the fight haven't been announced is because Bud Crawford is the holdup. He want more money, and he want the same amount of money as Errol Spence or more. And we've been hearing, you know, that he want more than Errol Spence is asking for. I don't know what Errol Spence is asking for, but like I said, I know that I've heard that Terence Crawford is asking for $25 million up front. And now we hearing that he want that 50-50 on the back end. And we heard Steven Espinoza say, hey, look, Terence Crawford is going to get close to 50-50 if anything. So that's cool. I ain't really tripping on what nan one of these fighters get, because ain't nan one of these fighters paying me a dime. I just want to see the fight. Can I book my hotel? You know what I'm saying? Can I book my plane ticket? All that. But anyway, Bernie the boxer, he coming out and he talking cash shit once again. And he's saying like, yeah, Errol Spence ain't did nothing in his career. Terence Crawford got this accolade, and Terence Crawford beat Ricky Burns, and who else beat Ricky Burns, and, you know, trying to hype up Terence Crawford. But we all know that Terence Crawford, his resume ain't impressive at all. I ain't gonna call it weak, but his resume ain't impressive. They always going about what he did to Ricky Burns. He went over there and he beat Ricky Burns. Now, let's talk about Ricky Burns, right? Let's talk about what Ricky Burns did, since, you know, Bernie always want to bring up, man, Crawford, man, he beat the man. He seen him. You seen him go over there and beat Ricky Burns? Well, let's look at Ricky Burns' career. So the Ricky Burns that they always talk about, like I said, let's go down his career. He got 8 L's. He got 8 L's on his record in one draw. So Terence Crawford ain't the only one that beat Ricky Burns. Now, let's go down and see who Ricky Burns lost to. Let's see who Ricky Burns lost to. So his first L was to Alex Arthur. Never heard of him. I ain't never heard of no Alex Arthur. Then he took his second L to Carl Johansson. I ain't never heard of him neither. These is all UK fighters that Ricky Burns lost to before he even stepped in the ring with a Terence Bud Crawford. Then Ricky Burns, he had a split decision draw with Raymond Beltran. And we all know that Raymond Beltran is your favorite, you know, gatekeeper. I wouldn't even call him a gatekeeper. Shit, he probably a notch below a gatekeeper. Then he took an L to Terence Crawford, right? So they want to tell you, oh man, Terence Crawford went over to the UK and he beat Ricky Burns. He beat Ricky Burns. Man, but they don't tell you, right after Terence Crawford beat him, Dejan Lartisian beat Ricky Burns. The same Dejan Lartisian that Mikey Garcia knocked out, and he's still probably sleeping from about 6 years ago when Mikey Garcia knocked him clean out. Now, like I said, they trying to act like that Ricky Burns was the end-all be-all, and don't want to tell you that Ricky Burns already had lost 2 times before Terence Crawford ever even touched him, and then he lost the next fight after Terence Crawford fought him. Then, you know what I'm saying, after Dejan Lartisian, Ricky Burns lost to Omar Figueroa Jr. Then he lost to Julius Ndongo. The same Julius Ndongo that Terence Crawford is praised for getting undisputed by. For becoming undisputed by. Oh man, he beat Julius Ndongo and became undisputed, right? Well, Julius Ndongo beat Ricky Burns too, right? To get them straps that Terence Crawford took off of him. Then Ricky Burns also lost to Anthony Corolla. We remember Anthony Corolla, the guy that Vasil Lomachenko went in there and knocked out in like three or four rounds. Then he lost to Lee Selby. I mean, I ain't gonna go on and on, but Ricky Burns, I mean, he got 8 L's on his record, and so that's who they want to say, oh man, he went overseas and he beat Ricky Burns. That ain't so impressive when you look at the ins and the outs and the ins in Ricky Burns. Then, like I said, Julius Ndongo, who he got undisputed against. Julius Ndongo, we already know what that was. Julius Ndongo, the very next fight after Terence Crawford beat him, my man Regis Prograis went and beat him faster in about 3 rounds. Then he moves up, right? Terence Crawford moves up and he faces Jeff Horn. Bomb. Straight bomb. So how you gonna have the nerve enough to say that Errol Spence ain't did nothing in his career? When Errol Spence went overseas and whooped a guy that had never been beat at the welterweight division in his whole entire career, and that was Kell Brook. Yeah, he beat Kell Brook at his best. Whooped Sean Porter, whooped Danny Garcia, whooped Yordenis Ugas, the same Yordenis Ugas that whooped on Terence Crawford and beat him easily in the amateurs. And the same Yordenis Ugas, when Terence Crawford was asked about Yordenis Ugas, he ain't want no parts of Ugas, right? He skipped right around the question. Never said he wanted to fight Ugas. So let's stop playing these games, because Bernie and whoever else want to play these games, hey, you got the right one today. Now, I'm going to just play y'all the clip of what Bernie had to say so y'all can hear this stuff for yourself.
What separates these guys in truth? You know, like I say, to me, Crawford is this solidifies Bud. You know, everything that he's done. You know, he's went up 2 divisions, 3 divisions now. This is Errol Spence. This is the first thing he really doing in boxing. I want to say that too. What makes it seem like more of a delay for Spence is the accidents, the injuries, you know, that's pushing him back to make him seem like he's more of a veteran. But this really just a start for him. I want you guys to understand that's Errol Spence lovers. It's not that I hate Errol Spence. It's just that I'm saying, what has he done, you know, to warrant that over Crawford? That's what I'm trying to say. That's what y'all know. Can you not understand that? You know, in the medium that he got pushing him, you know, all kudos to him. I don't get mad at somebody. I don't, you know, everybody to shine. But listen, this is, come on. When I'm speaking, like I'm saying, I'm with the man. That's how I'm speaking. I'm feeling how he feeling. What is you saying? You know, so this solidifies Bud, you know. And of course we can go on and on. But like I say, that's really the pinnacle, because where we've been. This guy really just getting started. Like I say, he been in that 1 division, ain't really doing too much, and he's still taking forever to get to his cherry on top, which is Bud Crawford. So, hey, the fight is I would say a 50-50 fight. Like I say, the man got the machine behind him, but 50-50
all the way around, man.
That's it, man.
All the way around.
That's it. And so in that aspect, like I say, I don't know what's going on with the fight. I can't understand what's the holdup, given the fact that you know, they both had time to, you know, especially a Errol Spence, you know, to understand the magnitude of what's going on. You know, maybe he's still smelling himself, and he hasn't really humbled himself as much as he should. You know what I mean? And so that's just my take on it.
So y'all heard it, you know, and what he's saying, he's trying to say that this fight solidifies Bud as an all-time great and cements his whole legacy and career. But he's saying you can't say the same for Errol Spence, because he ain't done nothing in his career. He's saying that he been in 1 division his whole career, and he ain't barely did nothing in that division. Well, this man is a bold-faced mother effing lie. Because the last time I checked, Errol Spence is the one that's the unified welterweight champion of the world, got 3 straps. So you can't sit here and say, oh, this man is just starting. He ain't done nothing in his little career. He been in the same division and barely did anything. You's a lie. Everybody know you a lie. And see, this is the problem, because you got people like this around Bud that refuse to tell him the truth, that stand around him stroking his ego, lying to him each and every day. And that's what got Bud feeling himself and got Bud going over there at PBC to Steven Espinoza, Al Heyman and them, and demanding shit that he know he ain't gonna get. And then you hear Bernie try to flip it on Errol Spence, talking about Errol Spence, you know, he must be smelling his own piss, and we don't know why Errol Spence is holding up the fight. You's a damn lie. You know why the fight is being held up, and you talking about it, and then gonna try to flip it on Errol Spence. You said it. You talking about that, you know, Errol Spence don't deserve more than 50-50. The fight got to be 50-50. Then you going to try to flip the narrative and put it on Errol Spence, talking about he the reason the fight being held up. He must be, you know, smelling his own piss, and he done got cocky and all of that. Man, you need to cut this lying out. See, that's my problem with them over there. They lie and they try to flip the narrative, and you don't hear Errol Spence, nor his trainer, nor his people doing this. You only hear Terence Crawford and his side doing this. And Bernie said that he's speaking because this is the things that Terence Crawford say when he's around Terence Crawford. And he said he's speaking on how Terence Crawford feel about the situation. But let's go into who hasn't done nothing. What has Terence Crawford did at welterweight? We don't even want to go into the pay-per-view sales, talking about, oh man, what has he done to be popular over Terence Crawford and deserve more than Terence Crawford? Well, like I said, man, the man got 3 belts. The man has outsold Terence Crawford in pay-per-view sales probably 6-7 times more, if not more than that. You feel me? We don't even got to talk about the numbers. That shit ain't even close. You dig what I'm saying? So, I mean, we know who's moving the heavyweight. We know who done beat everybody in the division, and his name ain't Terence Crawford. And we know who became undisputed in the weakest division at the time that I ever seen anybody become undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Your resume ain't impressive at all. Now, don't get me wrong. That don't take away from you being a hell of a fighter, because you're damn sure a hell of a fighter, but it just is what it is when it comes to your resume. We all know that. Even you know what I'm saying, the Bud Protection Committee, the BPC, they know that. They ain't gonna admit it because they ride Bud Crawford and they don't want to call out no BS when it comes to Bud Crawford. All they want to do is sit around and hate on Errol Spence and try to pretend like he ain't did nothing. But we know what it is, man. Like I said, man, I'm pretty much sick of this stuff. I'm sick of all the lies. Just make the fight happen. But sign the contract, bruh. Sign the goddamn contract. Anyway, y'all know what it is. Smash on the like button. Let me know what y'all think about this. And yeah, man, I'm gone.